Do you know what it means to come to the theatre of dreams? Stadiums full, it's jam-packed, bursting out at the seams, playing under the lights with a team that's ready to fight, with 70,000 screaming fans, and when we touch down, it's on sight. Do you know what it means to come to the theatre of dreams? Stadiums full, it's jam-packed, bursting out at the seams, playing under the lights with a team that's ready to fight, with 70,000 screaming fans, and when we touch down, it's on sight. What? I swear, ask Carlos.
And a wonderful strike from Anthony, the substitute, wins it for Manchester United.
This is the OT99 banter room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, Manchester United with a W. Manchester United with a W. Look, this Man United, bro. This Manchester United. I don't have words to explain the love I have for this team, bro. This is not the most complete team. This is not the most technical team. This is not the end goal of what we want to be. But this team right now, not one Manchester United fan was complaining against Barcelona. There was not complaining, especially in the second half, because what they saw in that second half was drive, was fight, was togetherness, was a never die attitude. Manchester United came from a goal behind against Barcelona. I can't remember the last time we beat Barcelona. Talk less of coming up from a goal behind to get that victory, man. Edwin, look, talk to me, man. How are you feeling? Man?
It was a great result. Look, I think for a long time, my issue was like, results don't always match our performances. And don't get me wrong, the first half was very flat. The second half, we actually played well. Like, we actually put it on them. You saw certain players step up. You saw someone like Fred realize that he actually plays better in between a Casemiro and Bruno. Like, in between the 6 and 8 or 10, whatever number you want to call it.
8,
Where he's got the freedom to just roam and do what he wants to do. And he's not given... I think his problem is that we played Fred out of position and we've complained about him, saying he's not good enough, but he's not a defensive type of... He'll get back and tackle, but to keep him there in a defensive way, to be a DM, that's not his job. Like, his job is literally a box-to-box. Get up there, he's basically a nuisance to the other midfielders, you know what I mean?
When we bought him from Shakhtar, he was playing in those offensive roles when we first bought him. That's what attracted us to Fred. And then we brought him and made him defensive because of his physical attributes and stuff like that. So, look, I agree. I feel like Erik ten Hag understands the DNA of these players and he's just consistently like, the cogs are turning in his head, and he knows what we need. My only thing though, Edwin, was just like, when we started the game, I was just like, why ain't Weghorst why ain't he in the number 10 role? Why ain't Rashford up top?
I think that was the problem. Like, I think the problem in the first half was the tactics, right? I think Ten Hag got it wrong. I think playing Weghorst up front, playing Rashford on the left, especially after how they performed the first game, kind of played into Barcelona's hands, because even when we hit them on the counter, there wasn't a vocal point to run. You know what I mean? So I think we really struggled because there was times where Weghorst was played, the ball was played, and there was no way he was catching it. You know what I mean?
The pace is a problem, bro.
Yeah, so I think that was the problem, but he fixed that at half time. And Ten Hag has got it wrong at times, but he has got it the majority of times right. When he needs to make the changes, he makes them when he needs to, and it will actually impact it. But look, first half we had maybe one clear chance through Bruno. Apart from that, we were kind of pinned back and we were losing the ball quite a bit. There wasn't the intensity. It's crazy. We looked tired in the first half, but we had so much energy in the second. But
what is he saying in the second half? What is he saying in them team talks, bro? You know what?
Yeah, I think he just told them, look, like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys represent how you play, how you want to be like
for the badge.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you know what?
I think Anthony coming on was a good move as well. You know what I mean? He could have brought Garnacho on, but he decided to bring him on. Move Rashford up front, Sancho to the left, Bruno back in the number 10, and Anthony on the right.
Do you know what? Before we get to them guys, yeah. Look, just in the first half, like, I noticed, obviously as well with the lineup as well, that we saw no Sabitzer, and there was people thinking, is it Sabitzer going to be with Casemiro starting? But we saw Fred come back in, and I wasn't too surprised with Fred starting, to be fair, because I heard Eric Ten Hag's interview with earlier on, and he was talking about sort of chemistries and building relationships and getting these players to watch their videos back and understand how they can grow that relationship as well. And for me, you know, Fred and Casemiro's got that relationship. They got it for the international team. They've been playing together, you know, all this time. You've got Wan-Bissaka building that relationship on the right as well, like with Bruno. And then you've got Luke Shaw, who's been building that relationship as well. Like obviously Luke Shaw's held down that role for a long time. He's unplayable right about now. So for me anyway, back to Fred and Casemiro, I just knew that they were going to be partnering together.
And as a communication as well, I'm not too sure how good Casemiro's English is, but just having someone that, you know, he's familiar with, it's probably made him comfortable. But look, Casemiro has just been a revelation for us this season, man. Like his ability to know when to make the fouls that are important, his ability, like in the first half, was it the first or second half where they were potentially through and then he done that last minute tackle, then he's able to put his leg up to even have an extra block.
Second half, I think.
Yeah, like he really knows where.
No, that was the end of the first half, wasn't it? He made that because it.
I think so.
If that went in, then we would have been like 2 goals down. I can't remember.
So I think he's really showed how much we've missed a player like him.
Facts. Look,
and it wasn't his birthday yesterday or something.
Yeah.
Him and Anthony, don't they have the same birthday or something?
I didn't even know it was Anthony's. I heard Casemiro's. I didn't even know it was Anthony's as well.
I think it's Anthony as well. So shout out to both of them.
Shout out to both of them. Look, what I noticed as well is Eric Ten Hag said he had a game plan. And when I was looking at that game, I was thinking, I'm not feeling where the players were positioned and stuff like that. But I did see, Aaron. I did see sort of Fred. Fred was marking Frankie de Jong, and then you had Sancho. Sancho was like sort of clinging onto Busquets. And I know Eric Ten Hag was looking at Barcelona's team and thinking, do you know what I mean? I need to get these guys. These are the guys. These are the cogs. Busquets and Frankie de Jong. If we can lock them and mark them out the game, then we can stop and stem the supply to the forward lines. And I noticed that working, because everyone says the first half was bad, but in reality, we had a good maybe 10-15 minute spell in the first half where we were pressing, winning the ball high.
You know what? The reason why I say I know like we look like we're pressing is because of the difference in the second half and the contrast that we're
Massively.
like the first half was bad. It was very flat. Although we were pressing, it's like it came to no result. You know what I mean?
It came to no result, yeah.
And there
was so many ups and
Bruno's
downs.
chance, we didn't really have anything, did we?
Yeah. No, there was that other chance where I think Bruno had like this half volley opportunity. I can't remember who put the ball, who supplied.
I think it was Shaw because we were speaking
Shaw.
at that time. I think Shaw played it in because we were on the phone at that time, and then I think it dropped, and he's kind of like he hit it, but didn't hit it cleanly enough.
Like a half chance. But that ball, I mean, from Luke Shaw. But my thing is then in that first half, what sticks is the whole fact that David De Gea gives away the ball, which, you know, you're thinking, what is going through? Like, is there something in the air with goalkeepers?
Who blocked that? Was it
Casemiro? I remember Casemiro blocking that, and then he goes to... this is what I love about Casemiro. He makes that block, then he looks back to David De Gea and he's just like...
Calm down, You need the maturity, and you know what is interesting when you look at Casemiro, he's won the La Liga, he's won like the World Cup championships, he's won the Champions League, but he's still playing like he's a youngster, like the hunger, like even did you see when he headed it over? Like they're crossing, they headed it out for a corner. You see how angry he was?
He was angry, bro. He was angry.
You know what I mean?
Him and Varane.
And I think that's good. Like no matter how much you've won, he hasn't got to a point. He's still trying to improve himself. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Wasn't he the one that passed the ball to Bruno? He won the ball. Did he like win the ball, then lose it, then win it again, then play the ball through to Bruno? And
that's what you miss with him. He's forward passing as well as his defensive ability. Like his forward passing, we don't talk about it enough. Like he's got an eye. He's got an eye. He helps us progress that way.
I think he's had it for a while, but obviously playing with Kroos and Modric, you kind of get lost in the background, and he just assumed the position as the coverer, innit? So, but look, good performance by them. But even looking at the defense, like Martinez and Varane had a great game. Like Martinez, like him, the way he was able to position his body. And one thing I like about him, he doesn't look like he's short, like everyone's made an issue out of. Like
he's the best centre back in the world.
Yeah, he doesn't look like
Put it out
what?
there.
What did you say?
The best centre back in the world. I'm putting it out there.
You know what,
Martinez
he's solid,
is
brother.
the best
You see that time
centre back in the
where
world.
like they played, was it Kessie through, and he was like going back and forth with Kessie, and he blocked the shot, then he even blocked the second shot. Like him, and even Varane is like, even though it was offside, like his awareness to clear the ball off the line, like them two as a pairing,
The best in the
yeah,
world.
like
You ain't beating that.
they complement each other so much, because Martinez will get down and gritty, and then Varane is more finesse with it. It's basically the contrast of Ferdinand and Vidic.
He
But Vidic
didn't get
got him-
skin. He didn't.
Yeah.
Varane didn't get skin against Barcelona. Not once. He didn't get skin.
Yeah.
That guy.
Because even think about it, it's like how we had Ferdinand and Vidic. Vidic was Ferdinand's great defender, very like good on the ball, finesse, and that's how Varane's assumed that role. And then Vidic was more like, yeah, I'm the enforcer, like going in for everything, and that's how Martinez is. So defense played well. Wan-Bissaka played well. I think maybe taking him off, maybe he was looking at the games coming on the weekend.
You notice though, he was popping up everywhere though. I see him on the left,
on
middle.
right. Yeah, and like he's very. What I like about him, he's very positive in his play, because he does that give and go, and so he looks. Before I wasn't too sure, but when he's on the ball, I'm confident he doesn't lose it. His dribbling's getting better.
Yeah.
His confidence is better. He's give and go.
Yeah.
So he played well. Shaw played well at the back. I think overall, like first half, like no one was a standout performer. It's not. Maybe it was Casemiro with the blocks, but when it came to the second half, everyone just notched up that level, which was good to see.
Can we talk about the penalty though, man? Because that first half, right, when we went a goal down, look, and I think from that moment things started to take a turn for the worse in terms of our morale. Look, when I saw Bruno, to be honest, my first reactions, I was on the phone with you. My first reactions after I saw that pen was that was a soft pen. And I think like I was just so fuming, like the referee blew that, because in a prem or with a different referee, I don't know. Like we say this all the time in terms of the variability of that who's making the call. So, you know, obviously it comes down to the fact that you shouldn't put a referee in that position to do so anyway. But when I saw it, I was just like, there was no force in it whatsoever, and the referee blew that whistle and gave the foul. And I just felt like in both legs, there was a shade of biasness towards Barcelona. And I'm not just saying that as a Man United fan, like I really and truly felt there was something there, like an undertone of
so when you look back on it, do you think it was a penalty?
When I look back on it, yeah. Do you know what it is? Our players have to take accountability.
I think it was, because when I spoke to you on the phone, I said the difference is if you touch him, you have to show clear intent. These are the new rules. So if you touch him, it's fair enough. But the fact that he touched him, ran around his body and was still holding his hand is different. If you say you could just say my hand's tangled and I touched him. But the fact that he grabbed his hand longer and actually tried to go around him and tackle holding his hand is like, you can't put the referee in a position to do that, because number one, it's different if it was like there wasn't a goal scoring opportunity. Most he was going to do was cross it in, right? But he should not have had his hands on him at all.
He knows better, and I feel like you have to learn from these things. You really do. Like with Casemiro, when Man United got into that little altercation that with Barcelona players,
he didn't get involved.
Bro, Casemiro was like, nah, fam, I'm not.
I don't want to never read.
I'm not involved. Like, and
was that when Bruno kicked the ball on De Jong?
Yeah, Bruno kicked the ball on De Jong. Was like, yeah, that's what you get, bro. Have some of that for trying to string us along, waste our time. Look, boom, there's just 75 mil. but you know what, like, yeah, I think Bruno, he let us down there. He really did let us down. And I was thinking,
because
we've got a mountain to climb.
At the end of the day, like, whether once it's given, you have to look at it and be like, okay, we could say it shouldn't have been a penalty, but Bruno shouldn't have even had his hands anywhere near him. Like, don't give the referee even the option, because once you give him an option, because it would have looked worse on the playback. Because if they had gone to the screen and they slowed it down, it's like you actually you held his hand. Like,
it was so light, bro. It was
light, bro. But it's light, but like you shouldn't have your hands on anyone, any contact in that box. You know what I mean? But look, at the end of the day, whether the decisions went to our way or not, we're through, man.
Look, we're through, man. And we're through because of the changes Erik ten Hag, Xavier made in that second half. Look, the one thing about Erik ten Hag is when he makes a mistake, he's in game. I think his in game management is one of the best, like out there. When it comes to management, he's just one of the best. His in game management is sick. He's able to really and truly look at the thing and identify what needs to change. It's more than just, oh, let me bring on that player and remove that player. Even down to the intricate tactical details, the positioning of each of these players, like everything is down to a T. You can really see Erik ten Hag's personality exuberating out of this team. And when he made those changes to take off Weghorst, because let's be honest, Weghorst, yeah, look, Barcelona play a high line. Weghorst as a number 9, who's not great at winning headers, is not great at beating an offside trap or anything like that, is not going to help you. He really ain't going to help you. So as soon as we made that change, and the thing is about Erik ten Hag, it makes those substitutions early. It makes that sub early.
But in the long run, also, it shows what type of striker we need going forward. We need one that's mobile and that can actually play across the line, like a quick one. So off the top of my head is Osimhen, even that what's his name, Jonathan David, those type of strikers that can actually are quick and that could play, like you could play the ball behind or in front of a defender and they can run onto it, because once you've got a slow striker, it kind of like nullifies our attack and just the fluidity of it.
100%. I felt like Rashford weren't getting into the game on the left. You know what I mean? Arujo, whatever his name is, had his number, locked him down with Koundé. You know, on the right-hand side, Bruno wasn't really effective in the game. As soon as Erik ten Hag made the switch, put Bruno in the middle, Sancho on the left. Sancho was involved he was active involved. He participated in the first goal. Bruno Fernandes came alive. Boom. Do you know what I mean? Anthony. You know what? Of all of the grief that I've given Anthony, I've come to make a number of conclusions, and I'm saying it today. I missed Anthony. I really did miss Anthony, you know. Like when he was on that pitch today, it reminded me of what he was giving us on that right-hand side. It was a lot more balance, a lot more work ethic. He gives us a balance of defense, but also enough like threat going forward, in a sense that you see him bursting.
Yeah, but I think he's improved in that, because I think our critique of him was, I think it was justified, because he weren't making them runs early. Remember, like as soon as he came on, you remember when they played the ball and he was gone. But I think the ball, and that's when he took the touch. He
sticks his chest out a little bit. And he's like,
it just started blowing. But I think he kicked the ball. The defender done well, Christensen done well, where he tried to cross the ball into Rashford after getting there. Yeah. And then there's a few times going in, even maybe he could have taken it on his right. But he had the threat down where he's actually running down the line and he also is cutting in. And he's link-up play. You know what I mean? Like, and he's good. Look, what I've realized, he's actually good at holding the ball on that side. Like, where there's a few plays, he's good at holding it, passing the ball. So look, but with him, that's why I said, like, it's difficult, isn't it? I think they said he turned 23 yesterday. So he's only 23. He's still young. It's a new country to adapt to, new league. So we've got to give him time, but he's showing early, you know what I mean? If you do look at his stats is not that bad, you know, for the games he's played. So yeah, he did show, like, him coming on, it did like improve our game. Look. Like it improved the outlet of our game, you know what I mean? And it just shows that Bruno shouldn't have to play on the right. We've got Sancho that could play there, and Anthony, and Bruno should just play in the 10 position. Like,
should just need to play there.
But similar to you, as much as I, like you said about Anthony, I critiqued Bruno, but I have to give him his like, say well done yesterday. Look, he didn't play the best. He gave away the penalty, I understand, but in the second half, he was running down everything. He was chasing down everything. He was involved in the first goal where he passed it into Fred. Fred took that touch and shot, and then he was involved in was it the second one where Shaw backheeled it? And he shrugged off Rafinha. He shrugged off Rafinha, passed it into Garnacho. Garnacho, I think, shot deflected. Fred shot deflected, fell to Anthony. Beautiful finish. Just nice placement on a half look, sort of like a half volley. So I think Bruno, like when you talk about redemption, gave away the penalty, but was involved actively in both the goals.
Facts. So, and this is what I mean about like me at times taking these players for granted, because like I feel like with Bruno Bruno's one of those players, right? Where I was talking about play him out on the right so we can maybe pack up the midfield and put in maybe you can have a Sabitzer, Casemiro, and Eriksen or whatever you do, but still have that creativity. But we saw that when he's out on the right, he wasn't as effective. Sancho wasn't as effective in the number 10, but we've got the opportunity to rectify that and put Bruno back. Look, Bruno in the number 10, that's his home. And I feel like he's just involved in everything. We saw his work ethic. We see he's the only one starting that press. He runs from night. Like, did you see what he said? Like back home, like growing up, he would play like games. Like I don't even know how many minutes of hours of games he will play. Like this is nothing. Him playing 3 games a week or whatever. It's not even enough. He said. Like you can see it in his fitness. Like Bruno is just one of these players that I know he gets criticized a lot, but I've learned to love this guy with his flaws because he is one of the elite. Even now, even with that, he's just elite. And when you put these teams up against Barcelona, look, Manchester United is crying out for this possession style, this pass, all this type of football. But you can see it when you've got guys like Fred, when you've got guys like Bruno, who's not like that, but you give them that clear instruction. You see who impacts the game more. Manchester United impacted the game more than Barcelona. We stemmed all of their ball playing threat. And we impacted on the game. And there's not one style to play football with when it comes to this team. There's not. You look at these players, you get the best out of them, you put them in the right positions where they'll flourish and they'll do their thing. And I feel like the template that we're trying to go with this ball passing football and all of that stuff is good because we've seen that's the template that's won a lot of trophies. Barcelona, City's doing it. Arsenal's playing good football. But look, we've taken a scalp of all of these, man. And we've done it playing our way of football. And our way of football at the minute is transition. Our strengths are in the transition. Winning back that ball in the high press. Do you know what I mean? Winning back that ball in the high press and feeding our forwards to bruv. And this is how we're going to flourish. This is how we're going to keep on flourishing. But look, we have to talk about. Man United was just so dynamic. So dynamic when Anthony came
in that second half. Yeah.
Oh, so dynamic. The attack was there now. The threat was there. And I feel like
it's better for us to start games like that now because then in the second half you could take control over the game and sometimes you leave yourself too much work to do and sometimes you might not be able to complete that work you're doing. So you're better off starting with that energy and So look, but one thing we should never take away is that Man United beat a good team. There's going to be a lot of like information about Barcelona isn't the Barcelona of come on. It's not going to be like there's no Messi there, there's no Ronaldinho, like there's no Etu, there's no Henry, there's no Xavi, there's no Iniesta. You know what I mean? These are all elite players that played for the team, right? But right now, look, we've got of recent times they beat Real Madrid convincingly. They're 8 points clear of their league, so it's not like they're super out of form or they're struggling.
Facts.
So we actually played a Barcelona team that's actually doing well within their own right. And I think they've won a domestic cup this season.
Do you know what I don't like, Edwin? Is when we beat these teams, it's like, their team was
they're not that good.
They're not that good. Bro, this team...
Look, we've got to remember they're a good team, man.
This is the first loss in the calendar year for Barcelona. Their first calendar year loss. They lost a game in like maybe 18 games. They ain't lost. They come to Old Trafford and they lose. It's not a coincidence, bro. And this is my thing. Like even with Arsenal, when we smash up their little run, like it's not a coincidence. Like Manchester United, look, once we beat Arsenal, they went on to keep winning, didn't drop any points again until they faced us and they almost dropped points again. Like, and my thing is those fine deals. Like if Casemiro's in the team, not in the team, it could be a different outcome today. Do you know what I mean? And these are the fine deals of those type of games. And you're playing at that level, you need your best players available and fit. And that's the difference today. We had all of our guys back and fit. And you know what I noticed about the way we were playing is the fact that no one was giving up on the ball. Like I see Rashford, you talked about Sancho, Luke Shaw back heel. Like that ball was going out. A lot of people could have been like, let me just, leave it, let it go up. Chases that ball down, back heels it. It leads to a goal. Obviously, you said Bruno henched out a man. He was involved in that goal. Laid it on to, who was it? Fred or Garnacho, one of them.
No, yeah, I think he brushed off Rafinha, passed it to Garnacho. Garnacho's shot was deflected. It fell to Fred. His shot was deflected, and it fell perfectly to
the trademark.
So trademark. He just opened his body.
The body. Left foot smash. And then obviously Bruno feeding through Fred. He shinned it a little bit, but
That's why I said we shouldn't take away from that. Barcelona actually a good team. But look, we're showing like the good thing now is that the development under Ten Hag, it is like what he's actually transformed our team, and it's going to be interesting now of depending on we make the right signings this summer or next season. Because as I said to you, I think the problem is us. The gap between us and the elite teams was so big. Now it doesn't even look that crazy. Like we've just beat Barcelona. We've played Arsenal. We beat them. We beat Man City, even though we lost to them as well. We've actually been beating the teams that are considered elite as well, and the gap's not that big. So imagine now with another good preseason, a bit more of his ethos run. We've got rid of the bad vibes that were around or just the issues that we had, and everyone's just like turning up. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And I like the fact that even after we make mistakes, even the gear, like they're not disheartened. They're still like, okay, cool, let's continue to play. Like, you know what I mean? So
100%.
Overall, look, great performance, good big win. You know what I mean?
Win.
The draw's today, so we'll see who will get. But
We'll
as
smoke
Ten
anyone.
Hag said,
We'll smoke anyone.
Ten Hag said it straight. I don't care who we get.
He said
Basically, we got to beat them all.
he's a man of his word, He said Barcelona's gonna come and we're gonna beat them. Let's beat them together. And he done it. And he's talking about he wants to win everything. And the minimum that we can give him as Manchester United fans, like Man United's in a quadruple run. I'm saying it with chest. And I don't care if we don't win the quadruple. I don't care about that. I don't care if we don't win the league or don't win EFL on.
But the good thing is that we're contending, because it's been a long time since we've actually been like contending for
facts. The minimum this guy deserves, Erik ten Hag, is for the fans that go to watch him in, week out in the stadium or every 3-4 days, or fans tuning in at BT or Sky or whatever it is, to back him and support him, because their players on the pitch feed off the energy that we're giving them. And for me, look, I'm saying if Man United is 6 points behind Arsenal. They've got a game in hand. Yeah, they've got a game in hand, but we're 6 points. You know how quickly things can change in the Premier League as well. Look, I'm putting it out there. We're in a quadruple. We're going for the EFL. We're going for the FA. We're going for the Premier League. We're going for the Europa. Look, if we lose, I don't give a toss. I don't give a young toss. What the smoke, the energy I'm giving, I just got to stay true to it. Erik ten Hag's a man of his word. He said he wants it all. And me, who am I to disagree, bruv? Who am I to disagree? Look, quadruple, baby. Throw the fours up. Fours.
Straight, boy. Straight. Nah,
Throw the
no,
fours.
so who you guys your man of the match?
Bro, it's got to be Fred. Fred, that early goal in the second half, man, got us out of trouble. The Fred that came out in the second half was just Fredding. He was everywhere. A nuisance, like you said earlier on. And I think with Fred, when you play him in that position, when you give him that freedom to roam, he's gonna give you more performances than he does when he's having to do those defensive duties. And for me, I feel like Erik ten Hag's got a headache. I feel like he's got a headache and a big decision to make, because Fred, I don't think you can replace that type of energy. You know, like Bruno's one. I don't think you can replace it. Like Sabitz's, he gets stuck in and everything like that from what you've seen. But the way how dynamic Fred is he can cover every blade of grass. And when you need him to step up in big games like that, usually when Fred has a good game, you're talking about him being the man of the match. And that says a lot. He's like Eric Bailly in a way. When Eric Bailly had a good game, you know he's going to be man of the match. Yeah. Fred's like that as well.
And they say every game he scored in, we've won.
Every game he scored in, we've won. Look, Fred, you can't. It's going to be difficult in my mind to replace what he brings to the team, especially on a good day. For that reason, man, Fred, man, he had a great game. How about you?
Man, I just echo what you say, man. Fred, man. You know what I mean? Say it off with the early goal in the second half and just kept the energy throughout, man. You know what I mean? I think we've seen that his position is not a deep. He has to be in between the AM and the DM, and literally have the freedom to roam. So shout out Fred. You know, he gets criticized a lot, but look, turn up against Barcelona. Look, great players turn up when you need them and perform against bigger clubs, and he did that, man. So who are we to complain? Fred, man.
Bro, guys, you've heard our views, man. Let us know what you think, man. Drop your comments below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, man.
Hopefully, next time you see us, you know, we'll be cup winners. But you know what I mean? Sunday soon come.
Newcastle are not ready. Look, I don't know what Newcastle's going to do with their goalkeeper, Depravka. Genius move. Nick Pope, crazy move. I don't know who their other third place or fourth place choice goalkeeper is, but all I'm saying is, guys, long shots. Casemiro, long shots. Rash, just run at man. Smash it from 30 yards, just going in the net, bruv. Manchester United is taking this trophy home. Remember, this is the OT99 banter room. Opinions were shared and smoke gets served. Look, Manchester United is after the 4 trophies, the quadruple, the best team in the world, the best defense in the world, the best striker in the world, the best midfield in the world. Manchester United has got the best manager in the world, the new Xavier, X-Men, Marvel. All right, bro. Until next time. Peace.
Wakanda forever.